someone right now is probably wondering like what's all included in some of these free programs, because I've used just about every mapping software you can imagine, whether it's for hunting or whether it's for real estate and looking at land ownership and trying to pull these soil maps and everything else. What is free if someone just wants to poke, get on here and poke around?
Sure. So it's a lot. I don't even know if I can name all of them outright, but I can talk through some of the most used ones for sure. And with a free login, you can go in and click through and browse a lot of it. But listings everybody can see. We've got a great partnership with Land Brokers Co-op that we're proud of and love working with those guys. So we've got listings on there, working on some great improvements to those listings down the pipeline, and probably expand that part of the product in the back half of this year. We do have a sold land layer. So in the free version, we provide the courthouse sales information. So we pull, courthouse sales records from 3,000 plus counties. And so anything with an agricultural land use code, you're going to get courthouse sales for the past few years. Gives you an idea what's selling in your area, for what price, who the buyers and sellers are. You're going to get owner name, address, the parcels for that work. And then as far as the data layers, that's sort of the subjects, the subject properties most people are interested in: listings, sold land. Maybe you've got your own property, you want to save that.
Yeah, and to your point too, I think that's something that just when people talking with different people, they're like, well, how do you find your comps? Well, it's a little bit different being a real estate professional, but for someone to go on there for free, and instead of trying to sift through all these different filters on Zillow or Realtor and going through all these different things, like it's a pretty powerful tool just to hop on there for free, and it's a great starting point. It may not be as comprehensive as a real estate professional, but it's a great starting point.
That's right. Yeah, it just gives you a rough idea. And I'd love to talk more about that too in a little bit. I think there's some cool valuation discussions to have, especially, in our higher levels of the software. But the other, I would say historical imagery, vegetation index, we talked about, those are both free layers. The soil maps, so that's going to give you soil type, percent of the field that's under that soil type. We've got the crop productivity indices. So in states that don't have their own index, we have the National Crop Productivity Index. In states that have their own, so Illinois, we've got the Illinois PI in there. In Indiana, we've got the WAPI weighted average PI, CSR2, of course, and Iowa, and I forget all of CPI, Minnesota, Dakotas. Yeah, so everybody likes to come up with their own their own soil weighting. And so, so you can catch all that data for free, which of course, that's a super valuable piece of information when you're trying to value a farm. You want to have some way to understand the value of that property from a production standpoint. So that's sort of again, it's not a perfect metric. There is no perfect metric, but it is one tool in the toolbox to help you get an idea of the value of a property for ag production. So yeah, soils data is a big one.
Something real cool with the soils data too. So for any rec owners that are curious about expanding the food plot, or maybe looking at something that was, recorded FSA acreage, but maybe it's expired CRP, you can literally go draw out what that field is if it's not even in the FSA, and then you can get the soil rating for that specific food plot. And then now you can realize, well, can I only plant clover, or could I actually get corn and beans in there if it's large enough, which is such a huge thing. Obviously you can still do a soil test, but that's going to give you a really great starting point.
That's right. It does. Yeah. Absolutely. And to that point, we've got the FSA, the FSA CLUs in there, so you can go in and toggle through and look at what may or may not be suitable for CRP or WRP or something else, another program. That's certainly a valuable tool. We use it all the time, trying to sum up your tillable acres for a parcel. Again, rough estimate, but it gets you as close as you need to when you're trying to value a property. Elevation data, of course, kind of along the same lines. We're talking about vegetation index and soils and whatnot. Elevation can give you an idea where you might have some problem spots. Maybe you get a low spot in the field, want to double check that in the middle of the growing season. Is it getting flooded out at all? Or, or maybe it's tiled and you don't see any change in the vegetation index, you're good. So elevation can help you spot some of those places in the field. So yeah, I think I'm probably leaving something out because we do have an awful lot of data in there to go check out. But that's, I think, the ones that I remember right off the top of my head that I use all the time.
Yeah, and I think the combination of using the FSA acreage in combination with historical imagery for some of these mixed use properties is such a powerful thing, and that's what I really love the most, because That's a great way to do some value, value add. Maybe you got to do a little sod busting on something that is no longer in production, but you could likely get back into production. I just think that's such a powerful thing that
For
you
sure.
would have to use a lot of other paid mapping softwares that are much more clunky. And I can say that because I've used them in one quick, seamless way.
Yeah, sure. Well, I appreciate the shout out on that. The other one we do use, probably less helpful, I don't know, in the Midwest. You can tell me, maybe you use it, but the crop history layer, which is, pulled from USDA cropland data layer. I love looking at it in the Mid-South, down here in East Arkansas in the Delta. Like one side of Crowley's, there's this ridge, Crowley's Ridge. We call it a ridge. It's like 200 feet above sea level. But one side of the ridge, you're getting a lot of sandy ground, a lot of cotton ground. And so if I zoom in and I click on a parcel, look at crop history, I'm going to get probably soybeans, cotton, or maybe it'll be a soybeans peanut kind of rotation there, peanuts, cotton, whatever. And then I can zoom out and I've got a slightly larger perspective. And if I look west of Crowley's Ridge, I'm going to see a lot of rice soy. It's heavier clay soils, easy to flood, more land leveling. So you can really get a good picture of crop diversity, not just for 1 year, but you can actually look at it year over year for like 4 or 5 years, maybe now 6 years we've got. So you get a good idea of the crop rotation. I mean, up your way, I'm assuming it's primarily corn, soy.
Yeah.
But down here, you kind of get that regional or local diversity of crops and crop rotations over years.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Jake Hofer, and I'm a real estate agent out of the state of Illinois, and it's my goal to help 100 people buy their first farm. Been doing that with the Land Podcast and clips like this every single Thursday and Saturday that are released here on the channel. And to be one of those 100 people, all you have to do is, if you're in the state of Illinois and I can help you, I'd be happy to do so. Number 2, if you want to get connected with someone that can help you, reach out and I'll be happy to get you in contact with an agent that I would personally do business with. And the last one is, if you just simply learn something from the content we're putting out, or you get inspired to take action, I want to know, get you out of that spreadsheet. I'm on a mission to help 100 people. Until next time, see ya.